Hermes has a brand new flanker to the popular men's fragrance series started in 2021 called H24, created by Christine Nagel. Now we have a flanker to H24 called HERBES VIVES. This one right here, I'm probably butchering the name, but I'm going to tell you all about H24 HERBES VIVES coming right up. Thanks so much for tuning in. It's Sebastian. We're talking about Hermes H24 HERBES VIVES. Have you gotten your nose on this one yet? I featured this in my fragrance haul video recently, and I actually bought it on the first day I arrived in Paris. Recently, I was there for an event, and I was looking forward to sampling a lot of new fragrances. The day I landed, this was just put out, I was told, by the Hermes associate at Galeries Lafayette, and I ended up buying this one because I smelled it. It reminded me of the original H24 that came out in 2021, H24 EDP that came out in 2022. And I said, yes, I'm going to get this one because you know what? Even though it does remind me of the original, there's a really great pulpy fruitiness in this one that's ice cold that really is appealing, especially if you have a body that runs warm or if you're going to wear something like this in the heat of the summer. So this is H24 HERBES VIVES, a 2024 launch created by perfumer Christine Nagel. I'm going to call this a fruity aromatic fragrance. We've got fruits, we've got aromatics. Herbs are considered aromatics. This is, after all, called HERBES VIVES, herbs. And I don't have sizes or prices. Well, I have sizes, I don't have prices, because at the time of the shooting of this video, I haven't seen it selling in the States yet. Perhaps by the time this video airs, it's going to be selling. Maybe it'll definitely be here at Bloomingdale's here in San Francisco. But I have a 100 ml bottle, and these bottles are refillable. So they do sell refills for these bottles. I know they come in 50 ml, and they're definitely selling the refills as well. And probably there's going to be a 30 ml of this one as well. So the notes for this fragrance are fresh herbal bouquet, Pear Granita. Keep that word in mind. Pear Granita. I said it's fruity, and I also said it's ice cold. And then there's a note called, is it Physcool or Physcool? So I've got the note down here. I'm going to tell you a little bit about this note, and also the previous version in EDT. Here's the EDT, and then also in EDP. This is the EDP. Features a note of Sclarene. I'll tell you what Sclarene is as well, because it's prominent in the other two fragrances, but they don't mention it here in the HERBES VIVES. And it's definitely something that's important in the notes. But Physcool or Physcool is a Man proprietary ingredient, and Man is a company like Givaudan, IFF, Firmenich, and they house perfumers, and they have proprietary ingredients, so they use them to create fragrances, and I believe they sell them to other independent perfumers to use as well. So this is Man SA France, offers flavors which includes Physcool or Physcool. It is a unique cooling agent which brings high-performing, long-lasting freshness during and after use in flavored products without any mint smell or taste nor bitterness, and which can come with a natural flavoring or flavoring status. It is a highly stable molecule which can be used in a wide range of food and drinks applications, including oral care, confectionery, and beverages, as well as in cosmetics. Then it says contact us for more information. So that is Physcool or Physcool. And let me tell you a little bit of Sclarene as well. Sclarene was, like I said, in the previous two versions, and it's what made that those two fragrances. And even though I get the DNA of the original in HERBES VIVES, H24 HERBES VIVES, Sclarene is not mentioned here. But Sclarene from Perfume is it says it's a diterpene that naturally appears in the Podocarpus species, Podocarpus cunningami. Almost sounds like it's a different word. I'm not going to say that word. Its smell is described as powerful, woody, ambery, and reminiscent of Clary sage. And there's Clary sage featured in H24 EDT and EDP. Now from Fragrantica, which they've written about Sclarene, but they've taken it directly from the Givaudan website. So according to Givaudan, Sclarene is a proprietary ingredient for Givaudan. It says Sclarene brings a strong, dry, woody note with camphor and warm metallic undertones. It can be used in small quantity with musky and ambery notes, such as ambrofix, to bring warm and metallic facets. Sclarene is also often considered as a musk booster, as it shows interesting musky facets with good substantivity and fixative properties without being musky. Sclarene is commonly used at low dosages below 1%, but can be overdosed to bring very unique signature to the fragrance. And that is basically taken off of the Givaudan website. So that Sclarene makes sense to be in Hermes H24, EDT, and EDP, but it is not here in Herbes VIVES, H24 Herbes VIVES. But what do we get with Herbes VIVES? It is definitely an herbal and fruity balm. And I mentioned, remember the Granita, the Pear Granita, because this is definitely an ice cold fragrance. It has somewhat of a cooling effect when I'm wearing it. Keep in mind also, Christine Nagel created the last Terre de Hermes flanker. I believe it's called Eau Givre. It's got that ice coldness there. It's a very cold, metallic, sharp with the that one had the juniper berries. Here, they've got an accord called Pear Granita. So they're using the fruitiness of the pear plus a kind of an accord to create an ice cold, like an ice granita effect here in the fragrance. So the fragrance blasts off with lots of herbs. You'll get the DNA reminder of the original H24, which I love. I love this collection. I felt like it was very unique when it came out in 2021. Definitely unique compared to a lot of other men's designer fragrances, and that's what I liked about it. And then here you finally get the fruitiness. The fruitiness takes over, and definitely there's juicy, pulpy, drippy fruitiness of the pears comes in, but it gives you that icy effect. The Granita is here for sure. And this is when you feel like there's a cooling effect happening here. But overall, you're swimming in a lot of herbs because that cycle comes in as well to give you a bit of a mintiness as well, more of a herbal, woody mintiness. And when I say it's minty, I'm not getting like an in-your-face mint bomb here. It's more adding an herbal minty effect rather than it's smelling like mint. It doesn't smell like something like you or someone like you from the House of Etat Libre d'Orange or Beach Hut Man with its overdose with mintiness. It doesn't have that prominence here. It's more of an herb bouquet, and basically that Cycool or Physcool is giving it more of a boost of an herbal bouquet. Still, like I said, you get the actual DNA of the previous fragrance, but for now, I much prefer this version over the other two because I like this pear in here, the Granita, the cooling effect and things like that. It adds a bit of a happy, uplifting vibe to the fragrance, whereas the other kind of had a bit more of a seriousness about it. And the fact that this is also EDP, I think this is going to shine in the heat as well. I would wear this in the heat because that fruitiness adds that extra layer of fun and playfulness, as I said. And in the summertime, you're out, there's a lot of activity going on. It's going to have the aromatics, the woodiness, and then, of course, the fruitiness and the ice cold qualities all rolled into this really great smelling fragrance. I personally think this collection is better suited for warmer weather. I felt like the entire collection smells great, really, really great smelling compared to a lot of other men's fragrances. I like what Christine Nagel did with this fragrance, but I always felt like it was a bit subdued, especially the EDT. The EDT I would leave for the warmest, the hottest days, because that thing is going to smell great and it's going to even bloom further in the heat. The EDP may be warmer evenings in the summertime, but I have no problem wearing it, during the day when it's hot outside, because the intensity of the heat and the oils in the perfume is just going to bloom and you're going to project the smell off of you even further. But yeah, my favorite in the series is now called Herbes VIVES, H24 Herbes VIVES. I prefer this one over the other two. I just like that there's this interesting contrast now with the fruits against the herbs, the minerally metallic touches, and the aromatics, all, that's in the previous versions, but with that whole ice cold effect that the Pear Granita provides. yeah, a great flanker for me. I really enjoy this one. And I hope you guys get to try this one as well. You get to put your nose on it. And again, I don't know when this is going to get its launch here in the States. It was just put out the day I landed in France, and really was looking forward to this and a bunch of other fragrances. Some of them have not released yet, but glad this one was out and I was able to buy it and come back and review it for you guys. But you guys let me know, are you looking forward to H24 Herbes Vives? Are you a fan of the original in the series? Which one do you prefer more, the EDT or the EDP? Again, this one performs a bit more like the EDP compared to the EDT, but that fruitiness gives you a little more interesting depth, adds a bit of a interesting depth to the fragrance and a fun playfulness, as I said, in comparison to the more serious EDP version. I think it's a matter of taste and what you like. Between the EDT and EDP, I much prefer the EDP because it is definitely a lot more concentrated, but as an overall fragrance, the whole series is a bit closer to the skin. It doesn't have that really loud factor that I like in fragrances, but it is a designer after all. I think, you know, Christine Nagel did a great job with this one and the Eau Givre from the Terre de Hermes series. And that leads me to the question. I get a lot of comments about Christine Nagel, who some of you are not fans of. What is it about Christine Nagel that you don't like? What is it that she has done that you don't like? I hear that she's not a good perfumer, you don't like her work, but what is it about the work that you don't like? I'd like to find out because I get those comments all the time. Is it because she replaced Jean-Claude Irena, who is known as one of the master perfumers of the world? So she's basically not lived up to what he has created at the Hermes? Or is it just because she's a woman? I don't know. I'd like to find out what your reasons are for hating Christine Nagel. I personally think she's done some good work. I don't think all of it is great work, but I think the H24 series is great. As I said, I felt it was very original compared to a lot of other men's designer fragrances, which gets boring. They all start smelling the same, especially the ones under L'Oreal, like Armani YSL. They smell... all the fragrances those brands release kind of go from one to the other smelling very similar, whereas this series is really original to me and the kind of fragrances I like. So do let me know what it is about Christine Nagel's work that you don't like. And if you are a fan, why do you like Christine Nagel's work? Last bit of little info. I mentioned in the haul video that I also got to sample the latest Hermescence fragrance that's soon to launch from Hermes, also created by Christine Nagel, the first ever EDP in the Hermescence collection, because all of the Hermescence fragrances are eau de toilette, and I've been waiting for them to launch EDPs. So I guess the next oud fragrance that they're launching is an EDP. Does that mean they're going to reformulate all of their fragrance and make them into EDP like Chanel did with the Les Exclusives fragrances? They used to be all eau de toilette. They reformulated to be all eau de parfum. So we'll see if Hermes is going to do that with the Hermescence collection. But the new Hermescence oud fragrance that's soon to launch middle of February in France smells really great. Even though it's an oud rose combo, I think like Hermes fragrances, it was a job well done by Christine Nagel. So I appreciate the work that Christine Nagel does. Again, I'm not a fan of every single fragrance that she's put out, but she's done a great collection of fragrances, especially two really, like a great series for men, the H24, and the flanker to Terre de Hermes, the Eau Givre. Either way, guys, thanks so much for watching today's video. Do let me know your thoughts on H24, and if you haven't gotten your nose on it, if you're looking forward to try it, put a comment down below so I can find out. Please like this video, please share it, and I'll be back with more videos very soon. Have a good one. Goodbye.